traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? Adios! We're gonna be rich.
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
Good evening, everybody. It is time. Yes, it is Wednesday. Yes, it is time to be grateful that we are more than halfway through the week. But it's most importantly time for Tavern Talk, the show where we like to talk about the Hearthstone shenanigans in store for the week, and make some funny predictions and clever jokes along the way. I am, of course, one of your hosts, J.R. Juggerlaw, and I am here with my usual cohorts. I'm going to call them my co-hosts, my cohorts, whatever you want to call them. And we are now officially done with 2 out of the 4 series in THL this season. Hero and Legacy have wrapped up. So tonight it's going to be a relatively condensed show as we just talk about the Pro and Wild playoffs. So let's get to our guests for tonight. First, my 2 co-hosts. He's not a doctor. He is certainly part fish, or part fish, as he'll say, and he's 100% THL representation. Say hello to Dr. Fish.
All right, hello everybody. Hello. Yes,
That will
like
go
you
a
said,
long
we
way, yes.
are very much at the end of the season, as we have 2 series left. One's in semis, one is in finals currently.
Yes, and of course, my other co-host, the Hearthstone Encyclopedia, as I like to call him, who we will have to take some time in the show to congratulate him on becoming just the third ever player to win two THL series simultaneously. It's, of course, always just in time.
It's a grand announcement. Thanks.
I mean, if I don't give you a grand entrance, what kind of host am I?
True, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I
guess I should be enjoying.
like you, so that has to kind of factor in,
Aw,
right?
aw. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to enjoy it now. The glow, the fresh
Soak
victory
it all
before
in, man.
before
Soak it all
everyone
in.
inevitably goes back to hyping up their own team and only caring about that at the start of next season, as is natural. But,
We hyped up your team from like the very beginning of the season. Let's not pretend that's going to
We
change.
hyped
oh
up
no.
We hyped up our entire conference.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah, but
Like that was, oh my god. I mean, that applies to both Hero and Legacy, really. All right, and now for our guests tonight, because we've got two special guests, so it's going to be a 5-person show. So because it's the Wild Files tonight, we decided to have representatives from both of the teams that are competing. We've of course got F12 Iridian versus everyone's a winner, right?
yes, everyone's a winner.
Okay. Oh my god, I was like worried I got that team name wrong for a
you
second.
got it.
Thank goodness. So starting off, representing F12 Iridian tonight, he is a fantastic wild player who has recently made a huge breakthrough into THL's Legacy series. He is devilishly handsome, and it's kind of hard to avoid this. I love Robobson. This is basically his Americanized version. Say hello to the rotted zombie.
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here, and yeah, what can I do? Robobson looks like me. It's just this is what we have to deal with.
We love him to pieces, so if anything, this is just the highest possible compliment. Right? I mean, come on, everybody's got to join in on that, right? I feel like it just has to be said at this point. Robobson, we love you. We just this had to be pointed out, though.
I think he was the first person to point it out to me, and then it was uncanny.
Well, I'm glad at least, because now I don't feel, because that makes me not feel bad about making like jokes / compliments about it. You know,
When you're this beautiful, obviously these comparisons will be made.
God, one day we have to have a show with both of those two on and just see the magic that unfolds. Like seriously.
Yeah.
And the representative of, and our guest tonight, who's representing Everyone's a Winner, hoping to dethrone the current champions. Say hello to 6J.
Hey everyone.
You know, 6J, you make me feel a little inferior because I only have 2 J's in my name. Just saying.
Yeah, he does.
I feel overshadowed a little bit. What do you think?
There's no reason you can't change your name.
But why would I, is the question.
Because more J's is better.
Gotta get with a winner like this guy.
My God.
Yeah,
I feel like I was
JR,
just
next
lawyered right now, and I don't even know what to say to that.
One other important thing to point out. My name doesn't have any L's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mine doesn't either, just gotta say.
Yeah.
Are we doing this, really?
No,
We're gonna do this.
We're throwing hands.
I wasn't trying to insult your name. I was trying to roast Rotted because of
Oh,
the...
no. We're getting in on this.
I don't know. I feel a little attacked right now. What do you think?
Now, it's only fair. 6J is undefeated this season.
I was gonna say.
It's a fair comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with perfection at this point.
No, but you can certainly end it. And that's exactly what we're
Oh,
going to do tonight.
damn.
Oh.
Well, that's the
Alright.
thing. So let's talk about this for a second, because
I just couldn't help myself.
Wild, we've been trying very hard, very, very hard this season to like really hype up Wild to as much as we can, but it's very difficult when none of us play in it. And we love the fact that Wild has been such an exciting series to observe, just from like, you know, like we're not familiar with the meta. We're not really familiar as much with a lot of the players, because most of the players in Wild, I would say, don't play in any of the standard series.
Yeah.
But seeing like how, I guess what's the word I'm looking for, how like competitive it got, it's been very exciting to see like to watch everything unfold, because like the playoffs, for instance, had a nice mix of like really good teams, and then of course we got to the semifinals, and it was going to be Everyone's a Winner versus everyone's a winner. The team coming in at the the top seed
Mhm.
versus Seas of Cheese, who had a big upset the week before against Hey Loser. And then, of course, we had the other semifinal match being a rematch of last season's finals between a Noyo team and F12 Iridian. So, like, now I'm just like, man, what happens next? Like, this is crazy.
I guess
So, no, go ahead.
one small thing I can add: at least 5 of the players competing in these wild finals have hit rank 1. I think that's going to be Absolute, Hazer, and Battle Tagger from our side, and I know Corvette and NHLer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Marty B definitely.
I think
made it. I saw a post on Twitter.
there may be more, but I'm forgetting. But honestly, we have a really good match lined up, which is going to make it all the more satisfying when we crush you for the win.
Oh,
Ooh. I
so
feel that
this is where
burn right in the
so this is
deepest
the
dark
point
of
where
my
the friendly
soul.
trash talk starts.
Oh,
right. This is
assuredly.
This is my favorite part.
Oh man, I love this. I
I-
live for this stuff.
Wild.
So here's the thing.
so
So
good.
I guess let me go. I want to like kind of be able to talk to you guys here. So I want to start with 6J. So you guys are coming into this pretty favored in a sense, but you guys are like, you're coming into this like just so I'm clear. You did because I'm terrible at this. Did all of you guys play last season, or is this pretty much everyone's a winner's like first season as a wild team?
This is a new team. I think Absolute played last season, but otherwise, I know me, Hazer, and Battle Tagger are all new to the series. I think
Okay.
Sunday is new as well.
Yeah, Sunday's
Okay,
new.
that's what I was gonna say. I knew Sunday was new.
No,
So that was
Sunday
interesting.
subbed on a team last season. I just forget which one.
Right. But I mean, like, this was his first full season.
First
I
full
remember you
season,
saying.
yeah. Sunday in chat does confirm that. Sub for 1 week for
Right.
Seas of Cheese.
Right. So now I guess what I'm asking is like, this being your first season coming in, how have you felt about the season overall? How have you felt about THL overall?
Honestly, it's been a lot of fun. I think ladder is just kind of very isolating. It's just me on my own, maybe using the Hearthstone chat client to talk with people. But I think just getting into Conquest and just sort of this collaborative team-based environment has been a ton of fun. Getting to work with my teammates on lineup prep, sort of in-game strategy, all these sorts of things. Just a blast, really. And then it's definitely a lot more thinking than just like praying I don't queue into a counter deck in a best of 1 on ladder.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point.
Oh,
Now,
God.
I'm also curious though, like with especially with the new guys to THL, like is this like what kind of other competitive experience do you guys have? Like have you competed in a league type format similar to what THL is, or have you or is this like your first time kind of competing in something like this?
For me, it is my first time. However, one thing in the Wild community, there is a big set of tournaments being hosted by Team Wildside, a pretty popular group of, I think, Wild content creators and others in the community. And what they have been doing for the past few months is maybe putting on tournaments between some of the top NA players and top NA North America, EU, Asia Pacific players, and then top players in the Chinese server. And I have not competed in that myself, but I know all of my teammates have, and seems like a blast to do. Definitely really high levels of competitive Conquest play.
Sounds about right.
There are some ways to get involved with tournaments, though for me it is admittedly this is my only experience in Conquest.
Fair. Well, that's why I'm very. One of my biggest questions is: do you feel like you've learned a lot just from competing in one season of THL?
Sure, I think, yeah, I would say so. Just deciding maybe when is it just a good decks week? When is it a counter lineup week? Trying to figure out how to play around what my opponent is expected to bring, and then really handle the outside of handle the game outside of just drawing cards.
Sure.
Mhm.
And I can imagine how especially in Wild. Like I've been very much of the opinion that the closed list format could be very challenging to do week by week, trying to figure out like what lineups to bring, how to avoid being too predictable, how to think about what do you think your opponent's going to bring and what's the best potential counter lineup. But I can only imagine in Wild how it's kind of its own separate challenge because there seems to be a lot more decks that are viable overall.
Mm, I there are a lot of more decks that you can play, but the power level of some of the top decks is just so absurdly high that
That is true.
you're really limited by either bringing those absurd decks or bringing decks that can hold them off.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Like Dark Lair Warlock, for example, if you can't handle turn 3 like 2020, which happens surprisingly consistently.
Just get out of the lobby
Like,
then.
you just have to either like you probably have to back
I mean-
just accept that you're losing one of your matchups.
I mean, let's be honest, that deck that was one of the first times where a deck was so overpowered in Wild that they had to nerf it in Standard.
Yep, I think it's the very first.
It
That
was
was
also
like
the
a
best deck.
very crazy time.
It was also
I
the best
remember.
deck in Standard at the time, according to some pros, like very late
Mm.
breaking. So I know some Viper was one calling for nerfs because nearly everyone brought it to Grandmasters that week and had a very good win
Yeah,
rate.
no, I mean,
So
it,
It
Yeah.
hadn't quite
it
reached
was
the,
very
the
strong.
it hadn't quite reached the tip of the crown in Standard.
Yeah,
But,
in Wild we have Lotheb though. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
He's handy. Yeah.
playing a giant board is great, but playing a giant board and locking your opponent out of the game for a turn.
I feel like there's a sex is great but joke to be made out of that, but I'm gonna hold off.
But Lotheb.
Yeah, exactly.
Lotheb. I like Lotheb.
Yeah,
Um,
this month I played
go ahead.
Wild for the first time ever. Really, it was cool to. I was lifting in my basement. It was a cool thing to do while exercising, especially because I had never played before. So my queue times were really freaking long because there were not many other
Welcome to
players.
Shallow End of the pool.
Yeah.
Not many
Yeah,
players
right.
starting out at my low rank start. But yeah, I counted over. It was over a 16 game sample size that I kept track, and more than half of the games one player conceded by turn 6.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Ooh.
oh,
That
okay.
happens. Yep.
I have to. It was like it was a part of a mental like learning curve. Okay, I gotta use my resources a lot more aggressively because there's just no games that go that long.
Yeah.
So my
no,
opponent has
I-
Dark Lair on curve. My opponent has Kingsbane early, is hitting me in the face, and I have an answer it or I don't.
And that's one of the tremendous challenges of Wild players going to play Standard. We need to understand resource management all the better. It's just a
Yeah.
different format.
Yeah, that part's been made very clear though from watching like the decks that be played, watching the
Yep.
matches that are played. I mean, it's very interesting how because Wild has like a lot more power cards at its disposal. It feels like you have to be that much more careful about when you choose to use certain cards. Is that a fair thing? Fair observation?
Yeah, I guess like right. Wild has a lot of powerful aggressive cards, but it also has a lot more powerful sort of removal tools. Like
Yes.
Right.
for example,
Yeah.
like Wild Warlock has Defile. For those of you who only play Standard,
Oh.
it's two
Oh,
mana.
I remember that
and
card.
if it kills
Defile.
anything- If it kills anything, deal 1 again.
Rotted, please don't. This is a
and it's
family-friendly show.
No, it's not anymore.
Rotted the Reno Lock player.
Oh, baby.
Defile.
Talking down on
I will
Defile.
report. I will.
No, no,
report
no, no.
you,
I'm rubbing my
Rotted.
nipples for Defile.
Oh, you like Defile. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good.
Okay,
baby.
Okay.
Okay, but
I know you like Defiled. You're a Reno
This is
Lock
gonna be
player.
clipped, and we're all gonna get demonetized.
You can
and
Reno Locked Rulers versus Chad Dead Man Hand Warrior player, says Sunday in the chat.
wow.
Y'all
Yeah.
are killing me tonight.
I thought it was I
swear.
thought it was Glare Rulers though.
Wow.
Anyways.
I thought it was 11 stars.
Anywho.
Sunday.
So,
Anyways.
so
Sorry about
anyways,
that,
so we've
Sunday.
got
You're great.
everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
We've got the guys who are looking to take down the current champions, and then we have the current champions.
Yeah.
Rotted, you are a very interesting case because you
I am,
are.
thank you.
I mean, besides the fact that you look like the American version of Robobson, which we'll deal with that another time. No, but it's funny because now you are the 4th player on the team who can now say they've played who plays at THL, it's in Wild and Standard, but you have the distinction of all right, you played your first season in just Wild. Now you've made your way to Standard, and now you're really kind of strutting your stuff, if you will. Like it's been very interesting to watch. Like I think everybody, like people are very shocked at how low your PR is in Standard, and yet you are killing it.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a PR in Standard. I didn't play,
Right,
and so
but
I was happy to be brought over and just play the
that's
games.
fair.
Yeah.
It almost makes you seem broken.
I mean, I do need a nerf. It's true.
Hey, there we go. But no, in all
Everyone's a
seriousness,
winner
though,
can provide one to you very quickly.
Ah!
Oh, I see where this is going. And it is fair. I did lose to Hazer earlier this season, but I do believe that justice, not justice, what are the words I'm looking for? Revenge is a dish best served on Sunday.
True.
Mm.
And I mean, it's an interesting position to be in. We are the defending champions, but you guys are the seed that is ahead of us. You are the ones that people, I think, typically will expect to win. So it's a very, very weird position, defending champion, underdog. I think we relish that role. Like you said, we've had players who have been number one legend who are tremendous competitors. And then we have, the rest of us, including Neji here, who was recently 6-3 at the latest Masters Tour stop. We're
I'm
no
st-
slouches.
I'm still sad that he did not make top 16. He
It was so close. I know. We were all
So
just
close.
huddling there, just
But
watching the tie breaks. And
I'm
then
also, but honestly, you know what I'm the most sad about? No
Sure.
THL representation in the top 8.
Yeah, I mean,
So
close.
close.
it was
very
close. It was very close.
I mean, I totally understand why they did the top 16 that day. It's like they can't just they wouldn't have been able to have all the matches done if they for the top, if they did that. But I was like, I would have loved to see like one of them make top 8, just to, because then THL we know would have gotten at least one shout out.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
THL getting a shout out on
pretty
stream, which
okay.
which should be fair, has happened before, but it still would have been cool.
Hmm.
I mean, I
But,
think that a lot of people were pointing out the fact that you guys were alluding to, that THL has had a lot of competitors who have gone on to do tremendous things. And so if people want to get going in competitive Hearthstone, Wild Legacy, whatever, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to kind of blow my mind personally that like I started THL right before Eddie joined in for a couple seasons. And then, went on, did his thing, and eventually became a grandmaster. And it's just like, wow, a lot has changed. It is
Yeah.
pretty surreal. And now, like, obviously the Hearthstone community in a lot of ways has changed, both because of the talent that has like kind of come and gone, but also looking at like a lot of the bigger players have moved on from playing the game to working for Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's still something I'm wrapping my head around. I mean, we've literally
Yeah.
we had both Gallon and Boar Control in the same year move
And-
from Grandmaster
and,
to working at Blizzard.
And Alec Dawson, is a former THL champion as well.
Yeah, and who by the way, Alec's the one who got me into THL. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Alec was the one. Alec and Asuna both got me into it. Asuna was the one who first brought it to my attention. Alec was the one who told me to make a free agent post to actually like throw myself out there. And next thing you know, Lemur picked me up, and here I am, like 4 years later, which is wow. I'm like, I was talking to Lotus Knight about this earlier this week. It's like we've been playing in this series in this community for like 3-4 years. It's like wow. THL has just evolved so much over the years. It's pretty surreal.
Yeah. So, I guess we should probably talk about the match, and then we can we can end this segment with a couple extra questions. 'Cause a lot of the stuff we had planned for the interview have kind of just been browsed over already.
Right. The only other thing I want to ask though is like, so, Rotted, I guess I just want to know, how would it feel if you guys were to end up being back-to-back Wild champions?
I mean, it would be absolutely terrific. And I think we have every plan to do that. Not that 6J and his team are just going to walk over for us. I think they are arguably the favorites here. But I also think people shouldn't count us out, not in the slightest, because we are tremendous competitors and we're going to put everything into it starting tonight when Corbett brings it to 6J.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
big question. Will 6J go 11-0 and have a perfect season?
I mean,
The question.
arguably, he's the MVP of the league before any results tonight.
I mean, I think he's going to be the MVP unless Corbett
Wait,
somehow.
he's undefeated. There's no way he's getting MVP.
Yeah. We shall see what happens then. If Corbett
Well-
wins tonight, I don't know.
No,
If,
and no,
well, that's
MV,
the crazy
MV
thing. If 6J
No.
loses, he's losing to a
MV
guy who's going to end up having the same record as him.
Yeah, but MVP only counts the regular season.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, 6J wins that.
Yeah, 6J wins that.
So yeah.
Now,
Oh,
here's
that
what
would be
you
the
want
ultimate
to know.
irony when Corbett bashes him hard, just all over the.
he'll bash him over to the bash.
I'm glad I don't have Cam showing right now.
Either that or he won't.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sun-
he will. Yeah, I don't know.
But here's my other question though, because I'm curious, because you and Marty both play for F2L Red in Legacy, and you guys, you were so close to getting the championship there. Does that like very close, but still coming up short? Does that kind of motivate you guys to want to bring it home in Wild too? To
Always.
Wild, like
But I don't think it affects it at all, actually. Win or loss, I'm going to be bringing the same level of competitiveness to any match I play because I just want to win. I want to play the games. I want to make good friends in this series. My cats are absolutely going nuts, apparently. And we're going to win this because that's what I want to do. That's what we're going to do.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, look,
So
I'm just excited for you guys. This match is going to be great. So let's talk about this for a second. So we've got the 1 seed first, of course, 6J versus Corbett, a clash of titans to be sure.
Absolutely, Titans, and both tremendous people. I can't speak more highly of either of them.
I mean, this is going to be one.
It seems like you've really been trying to do other things for the first 30 minutes of this show.
That's
I
funny.
mean,
it's a funny thing that
It's true.
I mean, it's just banter. I know these.
Oh,
I know these teams have a lot of
but yeah,
respect for each
given-
other.
Oh yeah, these
I
guys
mean,
are
that-
tremendous.
if you think
Given that
anything
we
to the
have
contrary,
one of
please
the-
go away.
Given that we have one of the
But
players
that
for the
one's
match
gonna be
tonight
great.
right here with us, 6J, I guess, can you talk about now that the season's almost done, would you be comfortable sharing with your thoughts going into this week with lineup prep and decision behind the ban, or what do you think your odds are
Honestly,
now
I think
seeing?
For us, the bans were pretty obvious. There's one deck that just steamrolls everything except for the deck that the other player is going to ban. So both of us ended up banning Priest. Me banning Corbett's Big Priest, Corbett banning my Raza Priest. For the rest of the match,
So you guys didn't even bring the exact same lineups, just the same classes.
Right. We brought the same classes, but totally different decks. I think
Are these decks that you've played a decent amount this season, or what made you bring them this week? Put the faith in them for the final.
honestly, I just was thinking, what's going to push me 2-3 wins this week, and this is what I decided on.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you hit the matchups that you want to? Is everything going to plan?
I think it'll be a good matchup regardless of what happens.
Okay.
I don't have much more to say than that right now.
No, it's perfectly all right to be cagey about how you're going to get absolutely demolished.
Oh snap!
Oh.
I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man.
It's fine.
Yeah, we have 3 of the line. I took the screenshot before. I always have the problem with screenshotting before 2 other lineups get revealed, but the Sundi and Itachi and Battle Tagger and Neji lineups have been revealed on the stream or on the
Rotted, we're
website.
just waiting on you. Your opponent's Taser has submitted. Come on,
Yeah,
you're
but-
holding up the show.
I have my lineup ready to go. I will not be submitting until after this is all done.
Yeah.
Okay. Any spoilers
Why are
then?
you such a fun ruiner?
I spoke.
No.
Your opponent's
it
already
makes
sent it in.
it makes sense.
I think
Okay.
my teammate. Yeah, I think just looking at the lineup so far, I think, obviously, I think our team is going to come out on top. But it'll be a good set of matches. I know I know you all are going to make it competitive.
It'll be a lot of fun. I have
Yep.
confidence that we'll win, but if you guys win, it will be well earned. You guys are
Right.
tremendous players.
Yep. Despite all the trash talk, your
Oh
team,
yeah, no,
your
God.
team is great.
And let me just say this to make sure it's completely understood.
Yep.
I have tremendous respect for each player on the opposing side. They're not only good players, they're good people, and I can't wait to see how this all turns out.
Yep.
Easy.
I'm very excited because this is kind of the opposite of
You're going down.
like if the funny thing is
Sorry, I
if
couldn't help
F12
myself.
Iridian wins it all, you're basically going to be it'll be interesting because we'll be like, oh, their first win they were pretty favored, they went undefeated, they were just unstoppable, and here it's like they're still doing very well, but now they're looking like the underdogs if they win it all. So that certainly makes things exciting.
Yeah. Some seasons are different from others. Last season I don't want to say we walked through it because we were challenged week in and week out,
No.
but we went undefeated, I think.
You did.
This season it's been a little bit different.
Mhm.
We've had to, I think, work a little bit harder, and now we're up against arguably a different level of juggernaut in Everyone's a Winner.
Yeah. As much as you were dominating last season, Everyone's a Winner is actually having more points per week this season than you did last season. Do you have any comments on it? Were you just not challenged enough last season that you didn't feel like you needed to win all those extra matches 4-1 or 5-0 instead of 3-2? Or is it possible that maybe you got a little lucky last season by winning every match just barely?
We were kind of just phoning it in. What can I say?
Yeah,
I was a little distracted. No, but
Wow.
that's the way it goes. And we haven't seen a team with this level of overall talent, top to bottom, and Everyone's a Winner. I don't think in Wild before here in THL. Only 2 seasons, arguably, but these guys are good, top to bottom. These guys are good.
Yeah, that's true.
We're still going to
I
win.
was
Though.
looking back to educate myself. I'm sure you guys know because you guys are more in the Wild scene. But the the Wild Side series, which has been running these competitive West v China tournaments, the January one won by Hazer, the February one Hazer in the semis, Battle Tagger losing in the finals. Like holy crap, those are names I know. We're competing in competitive Wild events against the whole world, and definitely holding their own in more than that.
Yeah,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
want to be the one facing Hazer. He seems like he's really powerful, and the guy who got him, he just must be a fool or just some old man who doesn't know what's going on.
If you never submit decks, maybe you don't have to play him.
I think if I never submit decks, I just roll over from last week.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, is that must be why you put your match Sunday night then? Hoping it's already over by then?
Ooh, spicy. I usually go back and forth. I'll do the front end, then I'll do the back end. I just sort of go back and forth.
Okay.
I mean, we shall see, right? This is gonna be. Oh man, I can't wait.
All right, that was good, Justin. That was very good.
I want to say I don't understand why Rotted was like talking about rubbing his nipples, but now I think I'm starting to understand.
Oh, baby, if your nipples were, well, no, we're not going to. Family,
No,
we're not going there. No, we're not making it that weird. No,
we're not going there.
I'm trying to keep the strangeness to a minimum right now. You gotta like, you know.
All right.
Plus, I don't have a beer in hand if we're gonna make that happen. So no. And
but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Bear in mind, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, bear in mind, we don't do that anymore in here, but nonetheless, we are gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, here I'll turn my camera up then while I drink this water.
Hey, gotta stay hydrated, and I'm a huge fan of the water.
Hey, look at that. No, it's gonna be a tremendous matchup. The Wild format is a powerful one, and these are powerful players. Let's have a good time. Let's put some good matches on for THL on stream.
Definitely.
Any last thoughts on this match? Or do we want to move
very
on
fun to watch. I feel like.
I think I'll just throw in my few cents because 6J and Rotted have really put into perspective just how like this is an insane matchup. Like this is the matchup that I expected to be for the finals coming into the season. Once I figured out how good Everyone's a Winner is, so I figured F12 Iridian would get there. Especially because I know Ultimate and Corvette, like because last season F12 Iridian had Ultimate on their team, and then due to commitments that he stepped away from the team, and they picked up Corvette, who is just as good as Ultimate, and we see the result. So I think this is definitely like the best 2 Wild teams that we have. And I am very excited to see how this plays out. I don't know. I can't pick. If I knew all the lineups, I could probably, and I had actually looked at them, I could probably say who was going to win either way. I'm just super excited to see how this plays out. Most of these matches are being streamed, so we'll get into that when we get into our closing. Yeah, I'm just very excited about this match.
So do we want to get to the other questions before
Yeah.
we move on?
Yeah, because I believe our two guests will be stepping away when this is done, when we go to commercial break.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
what we're gonna do. 6J, Rotted. I'm going to try to do this rapid fire style,
Let's go.
and I want you can take a moment to think about these answers if you want, but I want you to just I want you. We're just gonna kind of go by question since luckily these questions that we have haven't been answered yet. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have not been given these questions in advance, Chad.
No,
No,
I was
they
gonna
are
say that.
they are in the notes though, in our notes.
They are in the notes, but I don't think any.
So they
either of
have been
you
You
given
assume
them?
I read the notes.
They
You
have been
seem
given
like the
them.
kind
Of
of guy
course
who
they were
doesn't
not
read the
given.
notes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. How did you get your usernames?
You can go first, 6J.
Sure. My username, like normally, like my username would be just some random string of letters or some variation on some number of J's. In Hearthstone, I think it's 8 or 9 J's. But I think as I started joining THL and actually the Wild Among Us community, I decided that like just having different amounts of J's or all the confusion was weird, so I just standardized it with 6J because six just sounds good. There's no
It does.
real.
Can't confirm. Jay is great.
Jay is great. I like horror. I like zombies. Here we are. I've had this username for 20 years.
I mean, that's a good one. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 36.
What?
I know, right?
Yeah, he is.
Age before beauty.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dermatologists
You
hate
look
him.
great for 36.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's all this alcohol and sin.
Well, it's funny because I'm very confident that you are a fair bit older than Rabobson, so that makes this even more amusing now.
Yeah, he's going to look like shit when he's my age.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
true.
like
You're clones right now.
Oh my god.
You're clones right now. It only goes one direction.
Somebody has to clip that, I swear.
This is the sound of me sliding into her bob.
Oh my, yeah, I'm with Diamond. Clip and ship it. Oh my
Flip and ship,
God.
baby. Let's go.
I
Hey,
am on point right now, man. That was amazing.
Hey there,
Oh
Rebob.
wow.
Hey, Ugly.
question.
Want to try to win a
Next question.
championship together?
Oh god, please do that. I would love to see both of you
Yeah.
guys win together.
He's my bro. I
Yeah.
have tremendous respect
All
for
right,
him.
next question. This one is also from Diamond. I forgot to mention the first one was from Diamond. Why do you enjoy Wild?
Sure, I can take this. I think I enjoy Wild just because the power level is so absurdly high. I think after seeing what you can do in Wild, just with say things like Questmate, like I was in Wild like when Questmate started to becoming or when I joined Wild and saw Questmage, that's sort of the epitome of why I like Wild. Just you get to play like 20 cards a turn, do absurd broken things like take an extra turn.
Yeah.
And just
Yep.
go against like the strongest decks that you could possibly make. I really prefer that over the limitations of Standard. Also, as a free-to-play player, it's just easier on the collection since, say, like for the Odd Paladin list, which I think we mentioned earlier, I crafted that in maybe 2017, 2018, or like right when Witchwood came out, and I only needed 2,000 dust or so to keep it updated ever since.
Yeah.
Yep. And from my end, I am relatively new to Hearthstone compared to some of these old hands. I only got in during Witchwood, and so when my dear friends Void Lord, Carnivorous Cube, the likes of them started to rotate, I didn't want to give them up and see them go, so I went with them. And I feel like using the entirety of my collection and the diversity of archetypes and decks that you see in Wild are what keep me interested. Even if the power level is very high and tier 1 is absolutely bananas right now, there's still a decent number of interesting, viable decks that you can play to success.
Mhm. Right. From Sunday, who's a player on Everyone's Warrior. What is your
Mhm.
two rotted? What is your lineup?
Yeah.
Oh boy, let's see. Mechathune Warrior, Mechathune Warlock, Mechathune Priest, Mechathune Druid, I think.
Why are you
Well-
playing Mechathune Warrior instead of Dead Man's Hand Galakron Warrior? Infinite aggro is just so much stronger in this meta.
Baby, the era of flesh has
Oh.
ended. Get with it.
Gosh, you're bringing up infinite. We're bringing up infinite aggro warrior. Okay.
Well, infinite aggro, it reduces your opponent's life
It does.
total to
It
zero
does.
before your opponent can reduce your life total to 0.
True. Very true.
I mean, I'm the Mechathune master. I'm just gonna play what I love.
Oh my gosh.
I think
I love
hockey
interacting
boys
with
would
my
have.
I don't
opponent
think
by
I've-
blowing up
for
their
that.
face.
I don't think I've ever cracked up that hard at a joke on the show. It's a good one. All right, and this one's from Marty. These next two are from next three are actually from Marty B. PUBG or Valorant? Rotted. PUBG or Valorant?
What, you want to break my heart live open on stream? I've given thousands of hours to PUBG, Marty, and it keeps hurting me, and I keep going back. And it's an abusive relationship.
I could honestly go on an
Although it
entire
gives-
rant as far as trying to understand why people like PUBG, but I won't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just got to be the the first person action, the good gunplay. And oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, am I wearing my regional LAN medal from when I won several things at a regional LAN? I might be. Yeah,
Love the Rotted Zombie. Rotted Zombie.
I'm just gonna keep wearing this the rest of the show.
Nice.
Next question.
All right. Why should life tap cost 3 mana? Marty
Next
B.
question.
All right.
That's called backfire.
Yeah, it is called Backfire. How has the adjustment
Backfire
from
you.
Wild to Standard been this season? For Rotted.
Challenging. Standard is harder, in my opinion, and
And I'm finding Wild's
players
harder.
are really good. Yeah, wild can be very hard.
Yeah, well,
I,
adjusting from one to the other, because I've been going from Standard to Wild, and Justin did too this season. Going onto the Wild ladder, and it's brutal. Like I have learning how to mulligan, learning how to play these matchups, things that I haven't played in years, like Odd Paladin versus Oddberg, and the Odd Paladin mirror matchups. Like,
I mean, I think that would, I guess that's my bias showing, right? I'm used to all of that. I'm used to what I will face. I know the 30 cards more or less that
True.
I'm facing
yeah,
across in Wild, but in Standard, it's taken a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that works in both directions, though. It is what it is.
Then Max or Geranium Battle asks, why is life tap a lifestyle choice?
It's not. It's who we are.
Yeah, it is. It's. I think he meant
It's
why.
a lifestyle.
I think
It's a
he meant.
lifestyle,
I think
it's
he
not a
meant. Why is it a
choice.
lifestyle? I think he just meant. Why is it a lifestyle? But the question was oddly worded. All right, and the last one comes. The last one is Justin. I'll let him ask the question.
So this may have sounded funnier in my head, but 6J, do you, and you actually already brushed up on it a little bit, but do you think you have more J's in your name, or does Xananan have more Nans?
I count 7, so I think I concede the title to the most repetition.
Uh huh.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming on the show.
Oh man.
We are gonna transition to our commercial break here. The cams are gonna get messed up, so I'm going to fix them while we do our commercial break. I guess I'll do it on the fly because I have to.
Yeah. Thanks so much for our lovely guests for coming on. You guys are welcome to stick around if you want to talk about Pro and Hero, or we can wish you adieu, especially 6J with your match coming up.
Yeah, sorry for keeping it so long.
It's been
That's
nice.
not going to be on stream.
No.
Unfortunately, no. But we do have
Yeah.
3 other matches on stream, 2 coming Friday evening on Friday Night Fights, and I think Rotted and Haze are still scheduling theirs.
Yeah,
So
we'll be on
it'll be
Sunday.
it'll be a really exciting week for Wild, and I definitely encourage the Standard players who are curious to see what Wild looks like to tune in. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
Maybe some standard players are could expand from one format to two. Maybe they're bi-curious.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Oh,
All
come
right.
on.
All right.
that won't.
So yeah, Rod, did any
Silly.
as Sixja has said some words, have you any last words before go ahead and take off?
Well, now that 6J isn't here, let me really tell you how I feel.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
shit, he came back. No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be on here,
Yeah.
and I look forward to the match this week. You guys are fantastic.
Cool.
My opposing team's fantastic. You guys are great.
Awesome.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on. This was a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
This
Thank
was
you.
like we're glad we got to do something like this for at least one series this season.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
Anyways,
again.
Everybody.
now it is
Take care.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
All
the,
right.
the moment everyone has been tuning in for. A quick commercial break as we transition here. Thank you so much for tuning into Tavern Talk. If you're enjoying our show, make sure you check out Around the Saloon on Mondays and Ronnie Tuesday on Hearth Center on Sunday that you'll never guess. Is that not enough content for you? Well, we stream THL matches each night from Thursday to Sunday starting at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. All evening match schedules are determined by caster and player availability. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. But wait, that's not all. We also have some incredible matches weekend afternoons on School's Tone. Precise times and days subject to availability. Please consider subscribing to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, improve the quality of our streams, and content to our viewers. And I see someone asking in the chat, what's Prime Gaming? Well, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to our channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge and sub emojis. So hit that heart button and keep notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, please check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website TeamHearthLegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THLHS. Join the Discord, Team Hearth Legends, and the THL Pal podcast wherever podcasts are sold.
Bam. Nice. Just in the amount of time
Thumbs up
that
for
I
that.
needed to get the camera. Meanwhile, everyone's been looking at a picture of the pro bracket. Figure we can just stay there with that while we're getting here.
Yeah, pro is we're gonna give this
We're
some
gonna get
time,
to-
but it's already we're already almost an hour into the show, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna spend too much time. But I think at this point, let's just kind of jump right into it. So I think I think I called all of the matches correctly last week,
You
except
did.
for Popeyes versus Aeon.
Oh, you called Aeon.
I did. I mean, I love a good underdog story, and
Well,
I
I
love
didn't-
Popeye.
I mean, I just didn't
I
remember.
love the team. I'll be honest, I've never actually had Popeyes. I've never been a fan. I've never had enough desire to try it, but
Yeah.
Both of us had three, or actually all three of us had 3 out of 4, because I think
Mhm.
our brackets were identical.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah,
we both,
the only one we got wrong was Hyper Horizon.
yeah, we were both believers in the upset, but no, Hyper Horizon showed their skill and were able to get it through.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely thought it could be close, but I'm sorry, I really wanted that For the Boys Hype Horizon matchup.
And you have it.
You got
You're
it.
in luck.
Yes,
and,
I do.
And there has not been a single match played on that.
But all decks are in for
They
this.
are.
All of them are in due to all the all pro deck lists are in because of the deadline, the way it worked out. Everybody had to have their list submitted by the end of Monday. So so we're pretty much, if we want to look at the decks and kind of use their lists to kind of factor into our predictions, we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty interesting because right now we've got two very different matchups. We got Popeye Spicy Chicken Sandwich versus Yasharge Clown College, and then we've got For the Boys versus Hype Horizon. Like, I feel like on one side you've got these teams that have some pretty established players, but were pretty new as far as teams go and really brought it. And then you've got the two of the best teams from last season.
Yeah.
It's David versus Goliath, I guess, in a sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
It
maybe
just feels
wrong
like
metaphor,
Goliath
but,
versus Goliath.
Whatever you want to call it.
For the
No,
boys
I'm
and
talking
Hype.
about, though, you've got one. I feel like whoever wins For the Boys versus Hype Horizon is
Oh,
going to be the favorite.
Yeah,
team,
yeah. Oh, sorry. You're going
whereas
into the
whoever
finals.
wins
I agree.
Popeyes versus Yasharch's Clown
Yeah.
College, they're both going to be definitely capable of winning, but I feel like,
Yeah, I
they're going to
agree.
be
You're right.
I
considered
don't
the
know.
underdog.
I think any of these teams is very good. Like Popeyes doesn't quite have the results this season of games won compared to the other teams, but you just look at their roster. All they have to do is tune it up for 1 week. They had
Yeah.
3 players playing the Masters Tour this past weekend. Like maybe they've been definitely rolling over a decent amount now. He's doing their prep, but if it's 1 week, if it's one finals, and they put in the effort, like I
Yeah.
mean, they're some of the best hard snow players on the planet.
Yeah, that's kind of
And
scary
same with
when you really
Yashraj.
think about it.
Same with Yashraj Clown College, which Reggie have been talking up their chances as well. I mean, they had 4 players in the most recent Masters Tour, everyone but himself, and obviously he's a very good player as well, as shown by his high legend performances. There's no bad players really among any of these 20 left in the series.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if I was playing, I'd be the one bad player. But
Yeah.
And Diamond's correcting me in the chat. There were only 2 for Popeyes at the Masters Tour.
And
But
also,
yeah,
speaking of Diamond, it should be reminded Diamond actually has the chance to also win 2 series simultaneously this season if For the Boys win it in Pro, because he'll be a champion in both Legacy and Pro.
Yes. So let's.
Which would also mean this would be the first season where 2 players have won 2 series simultaneously.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, that would be pretty kick-ass, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So let's go ahead, while we're talking about Diamond and For the Boys, let's go ahead and look at For the Boys versus Hype Horizon. We can I guess we can circle back to Hero and just kind of wrap up at the end. We've got JR can go through the matchups. And we can just continue talking about it.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's plenty we can I think at this point, like, we've got a pretty basically For the Boys versus Hyper Horizon is like just like titans facing each other.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Honestly, though, funny enough, I think one of the matches I'm the most excited for is Dabs versus Liquid Ox, because those are 2 pretty big like mainstays of THL going at it, and that's going to be fun. That is going to be absolutely exciting. And I also love the fact that they both brought fairly different lineups. You'll notice, because they both of them brought Rogue and Priest, but then the other 2 classes they brought are different. So I like that a lot.
I've been looking through the lineups a bit, and I think I would favor For the Boys in a decent amount. The ones you mentioned, Dabs versus Liquid Ox, especially. Dabs has a pretty off meta lineup of Ticketus Warlock, Highlander Mage, Highlander Priest, and then Kick Rogue. And his opponent brought both Highlander Priest and Broom Pally, where the Priest may have some trouble getting through, and especially the Paladin. All these decks are like at least 60-40 against the Paladin. All of them are even to favored against the Priest. So I think I would favor Dabs in that. The other 2 that jump out is Buckmasty against Cool Kid. Cool Kid's has a spell damage mage that may have some trouble getting through, because Buck brought Soul DH and Rage Warrior, Kick Rogue, and Broom Pally. And again, those are all like 45s or 40 for the spell damage mage. And then lastly, up top, it's Shep against McBannerface. And McBannerface has Bomb Warrior and Highlander Druid, where Shep brought some pretty aggressive decks: Aggro Rogue, Zoo, Gibberling Druid, and Broom Paladin. So I would imagine both those 2 decks of Banterface would have trouble on paper getting through. But then again, these are all good players who can conjure wins, find lines that the normal public, the average player, wouldn't, and find ways to get unfavored decks through.
I'm just loving the variety here, honestly. I mean, one thing that I'm actually noticing, which is pretty funny, the only class that more than half the players brought is Rogue. Every other class that was brought, it looks like no more than 5 people brought them.
Mage has
Oh, sorry, Mage.
Mage
Okay,
has
no more than 6.
6 brings.
No more than 6.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it still feels like I'm seeing quite a lot of representation, because, like, you're seeing quite a few druids, a few paladins, a few demon hunters, a few priests, a few warriors. Like, you kind of have this, like, all right, there's no class that just one player brought, but
Mm.
a lot of classes like 3 to 4 people broader, something like that.
Yeah.
Rogue's the only one that's really represented by everybody except for Cool Kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the
and
chat- so the
folks
chat-
was pointing out in chat, I did look through his lineup, but I was not looking closely enough and did not notice the double ooze, double sticky in 3 out of 4 decks, and the remaining one being aggro rogue, which just naturally is like an 80-20 against Bomb Warrior. And guess what his opponent happened to bring this week? D-Money on Bomb Warrior, which
Bomb
may not be
Warrior.
having all that great a time.
Yeah.
Bomb Warrior is actually, I think, kind of interesting and is interesting. I think in a certain way it got a little bit better knowing that Highlander Mage and Highlander Druid have become a bit more prevalent, and it can also be pretty good against OTK Demon Hunter since they draw a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
be-
there's definitely times your opponent just doesn't draw sticky. But yeah, I mean,
that's-
even on paper, these matchups would be, maybe with the exception of Priest, you're taking Broom Pally and Soul DH, which already would have good matchups against Bomb Hunter, and then teching them further.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
wondering, did they bring a lot of weapon tech? Because I feel like that's one of the biggest things about this meta compared to last season is that like you saw a lot of sticky fingers being brought, but it definitely hasn't been quite as prevalent this time around.
Yeah, I think this was just taking advantage of a D-Money rollover. If you bring Bomb Warrior and you've been rolling over, I guess it'd be a good decision not to before semifinals.
Though funny enough, I've seen matches where players like went full like anti-weapon lineup and still got swept. So who
that
knows?
Bomb Warrior gets through, then I would like D-Money's odds with his other decks being like Highlander Mage, Highlander Priest, and Kick Rogue being pretty greedy when games go long and your opponent is drawing a 5-mana 4/4 that does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously the big if on the Bomb Warrior. But yeah, wow. Okay, looking at this overall, I would say for the boys, just on lineups, they really did counter Hyper Horizon. So there is variance, but I would think they'd be quite favored in this.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is like, this is gonna be great.
Agreed.
And if Hyper Horizon do manage to pull it out, like wow, all the credit even further to them. It's not that often you get this hard countered on lineups, and still manage to put up a good show. So we'll have to see.
All right.
sorry.
Well, let's move on to the other match then.
Sorry, I was talking over you guys there. Any final thoughts?
No,
Steve?
you're fine. You're fine.
No, I'm good. Excited for this match. This is the match I've been anticipating, and I'm excited to see what happens. And I also favor for the boys, like, because just knowing, kind of like reading chat, having talked to somebody who's on the team or captaining the team about what's been going on, I do favor for the boys. But we have our next match, and this one already has a couple of match results. And that is Yashiraj's Clown College versus Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich. Justin, go ahead and take this one.
Actually, do you want to lead into it?
Sure.
Give me a chance to look at the
Oh, of course. So we have two results already in. Honest Zabe took a 3-2 win over Nails, and Bobby X took a 3-1 win over Valera. And so the matches that are left are Neji Boston versus Wet Goose, Kalis Luna versus Myanodon, and Lumbo versus
Yep. I mean, this is basically do or die now for Yasharja's Clown. And honestly, I was going to pick them over Popeyes, but I would love to see either of these teams make the finals, frankly.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Neji saying Lumble literally has no chance on deck lists alone. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I can't tell how serious he's being.
No, like, he's being completely honest. His opponent brought Bomb Warrior into Highlander Mage, Highlander Priest, and but they also brought it looks like they
I don't know. That's the thing that's interesting about this meta right now. Nothing is so outright favored that
Bomb Warrior is hard favored into most of these decks.
No, but I mean like what I mean is like it seems like even when there are some unfavored matchups, it seems like you really have the power to pull it back at times.
Yeah.
Certainly that's true. This meta is a lot less polarized than others. There's just very few matchups that are worse than 55-45s, and there's almost none
Yeah.
worse than 60-40s. Certainly with techs for tournament lineups, you can get a little more polarized than that, but
Yeah.
it's really tough.
But it looks.
That's unfortunate that he rolled over.
But it just
too,
yeah, it just looks like it was it was just a counter lineup coming out from Nick.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I would be surprised to see Yashiraj's Clown College take this because
It's
of the 8-3
doable,
because of the 8-3 deficit currently. I mean, we've seen teams come back. We saw Foolish Madmen come back from a similar deficit.
Right.
But in an open format where like you can see the decks and you can kind of get a feel for how things might play out, it's a bit hard to say that they can they can do it, but
It's doable, but I will just say for me the thing that concerns me is the fact that Nails and Valera were probably two of the players I was more expecting to win here. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have complete faith in Neji, despite the fact that he's got a very formidable opponent this week. But I would say that, especially with Nails and the run he's been having, like obviously Zabe is an amazing player and then also went into this week 9-2. But I felt like Nails was like really putting in so much effort with the prep despite having to prepare for the Masters Tour. And I think like he was just making sure he was going to be ready for this. Obviously, it was very
Sure.
close. He did what he could. But I felt like pretty confident in him despite how easily this could have gone either way. So, and then Valera losing to Bobby EX was also definitely a surprise. So, yeah, I am curious to see how this is going to unfold.
yeah.
But I don't think Yashar's Clown College gets outright like swept or anything. And I'd love to see
No.
Lumble pull off a big like upset here. But only time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to echo what Neji's been saying in chat, definitely they would think Popeye is his favorite on lineups, especially the Lumble matchup, who brought Highlander Mage when his opponent brought Ticklock, Aggro Rogue, Bomb Lawyer, and Soul DH, like four of the biggest counters to it.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
just
lineup's also
rough.
pretty decent into Lumble's Highlander Priest, at least even or favored in every matchup.
Yeah.
And then a similar thing, it looks like it happened for Kalis Luna versus Myanodon. Kalis Luna bringing both Highlander Mage and Highlander Priest, and Myanodon, very similar lineup, brought or to his teammate, brought Ticklock, Bomb Warrior, Aggro Rogue, and Highlander Mage as the fourth deck. So not quite as insane, not the OTK DH, but you would have
Right.
Mage Mirror and then three decks that are quite favored into Mage. And then they're also quite all good into Highlander Priest as well, all four of them.
We
Mhm.
shall see what happens, but this one obviously is both these matches are definitely going to be worth following. And I think props to all these teams for having an incredible for being so successful in what was what was arguably the most stacked Pro Series field we've ever had.
Yeah. For sure.
So I'm very happy for them. So I think we're going to close things out now with, of course, we've got one more thing we want to talk about before we get on to the matches that are going on for this week, and that is, of course, our good buddy, Mr. Just in Time. Little clap. This man managed to become just the third player ever, as I said before, to pull off the 2 series championships in one season. For those of you who don't recall, I mentioned this last week. This has been achieved twice before him. First by Itachi back in season, dang it, what was it, like season 15 with when he
It was
won
fourth
both
and inches in F2L.
fourth and inches and F2L.
FTL at the
No, it was F2L, I think, when he won in Pro.
Oh, okay.
Second time was A2 Battleship when he won the Wild Championship
Yeah.
with You Sunk My Hattleship, and then of course the Hero Series with yours truly for Tampam Surf Slam.
Mhm.
And then now Always Just in Time becomes the first player. The funny thing is, this is like each of those times it was like they was pretty unique. This is the first time that somebody has won Legacy and Hero simultaneously. Dad Legend almost made it happen. Almost won both the season that Itachi won. They actually, oh no, yeah, because they won Hero and then they almost won Legacy as well. So
Mhm.
We've had some close ones, but Justin,
Yeah.
you are the first player to do it. How does it feel?
It's good. Yeah. Thanks. It's been a fun season. I really enjoyed my teammates, people playing with, and everyone in the community. That's the real fun part. I mean, there's obviously no prize pool, like not like you're competing in a Masters tour or even collegiate tournament where you could win some money at the end of the day. But it's more than made up for by the community. So even if you lose, it's still always a good time. But certainly winning's fun too. So we take those.
Very, very well said. Also, we gotta say, Tonk emote, badass.
Honk emoji. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I created that as like a meme because I wanted to shitpost in like preseason and
I
just
know,
annoy
but it
Ron,
looks
and then
so great.
and then I remembered in semifinals, like leading up to that, like I suddenly had a flashback of, wait, didn't I send this message months ago to Ron? And he said if we win, we get talk about. Wait, we're in semis. Wait,
Wait a
this might
darn
actually
second.
happen. Hold up.
Yeah, I like
okay,
it.
let me dig up this message. Let me pester him again.
The only thing,
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, one of my thoughts when you guys won was, wait, why didn't Tampam get their emoji in the THL server?
True. You just didn't. You
'Cause
didn't
there
raise
is a Tampam. We have a Tampam emote.
You gotta make it
That is a
an
thing.
issue of the masses. You gotta drive a campaign. What can I say?
I feel betrayed.
Yeah.
Oh, so betrayed. Yeah, no, but like we said before, though, it also shouldn't be understated that Diamond is in a position to do the exact same thing by winning both Pro and Legacy.
Yeah.
And we will definitely be talking about that next week, assuming that For the Boys wins over Hyper Horizon, which I'm not saying won't happen, but I'm saying, I mean, it's a tough call. I will say I am
Yeah.
betting on For the Boys because I do still think that they are going to win it all, but Hyper Horizon is not going to make it easy for them, that's for sure.
No.
Other than rolling over into counters.
Yeah, that's
Other than
true.
that,
Other than
when the
that.
actual matches start,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll play well.
We'll
So.
see. We'll see.
All right.
I'm just a little sad by the fact that next week we're only going to have one match to talk about.
No, we won't have
That's true.
anything by next
What?
week. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right,
all
because
So-
because Pro's going to be over by the end
Yeah,
of this week.
so
Okay.
that was my next announcement, was that next week,
Thanks. Perfect segue.
that
yeah.
just like, I believe that Hearth Center will have the Wild Champ show. Tavern Talk will have the Pro Series Champ show. So we will have the
Okay, that makes
winners
sense.
of the Pro Series on our show next week.
So right, we'll have the Pro Series. They'll have the
Yep.
Wild. All right, cool.
Yeah,
So this-
Ron and I worked
if
that out.
Diamond wins, we get to have Diamond on the show.
Yeah, we get to have Diamond and Diamond.
Hey,
Buck.
Diamond.
We get to have 2 returning guests. We had Diamond one week. We had Dabs another week. Couple returning people, and we get the rest of the crew.
At this point, given how frequently he's in chat, Super Chicken is basically
Yeah,
a
Super
returning
Chicken
guest.
is
we got
pretty
we got to get him in the call
It's this-
on one stream anyways.
It's today. It'll be a week from.
No, it'll be Wednesday, you dum-dums. Come on.
Yeah, we can't. I can't push the show back because of Thursday Throwdown. Probably. Well, we may not have a Thursday Throwdown at that point. It'll just be BGs on Fridays and Sundays. But
Oh wait.
Oh,
he's
so
right,
okay, so are we
Octavian,
gonna be on
wait.
Thursday? Okay, so apparently the Octathlon will be revealed on Wednesday, and I guess Tavern Talk will get pushed to Thursday. That means
I guess we'll confirm that.
I
This
will.
is
I
not
will get that
something
worked
brought
out.
to
I
our
was not
attention.
made aware of this ahead of time that there's gonna be
Yeah.
this thing. If you're on Thursday, you dabs
God
and chicken
dang
at
it, come
Tespa.
on. Can't
Well,
they just push it back to Thursday?
I
We'll
mean,
figure it
I'll
out.
get it figured out. We'll get you guys on, even if
before we go, though, let's also-
even if we have to push it back a week or something, we'll figure it out.
Before we go, though, let's quickly go over what matches we do have to look forward to
Yes.
on stream this week. So let's start off with Thursday Night Throwdown. Tomorrow, we've got ourselves a Pro Series semifinals match. German Sheppa For the Boys versus McBanterface of Hyper Horizon. The
Yep.
one seeds are going to duke it out, and we're going to see who is going to get second blood because Fauchot is playing. Fauchot's match is taking place tonight, as we previously talked about.
Yeah.
And that's going to be pretty nice. That's going to be casted by Ron Mexico and Saku, our favorite Canadian.
Yeah, we might have. There
And-
might be some members of For the Boys casting as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
I
yes,
didn't
yes.
want to put that out there in case.
We'll see what happens. But
So
Friday night is going to be pretty big because we're going to have 2 wild finals matches. First 8 p.m. is going to be Wild Absolute versus Marty B. And at 10 o'clock is going to be Sunday versus Itachi. And the 9 p.m., of course, is going to be the Battleground Series Lobby A. As you all know, Battleground Series is starting up again this season. If you haven't been paying attention, Fish and I are on the best team ever. Like,
yep,
we're going to win it all for
sure,
sure.
for sure.
Because
Who
obviously,
needs players?
Who
Who
needs
needs a
players when
team
you
full
have-
of people who are on the Battlegrounds leaderboard when you have JR and Fish on your team?
I'm captaining. I'm not actually
yeah,
playing.
no, he's not playing.
But who?
we're still gonna win
But
because
who
he's the
needs?
captain.
But who needs?
When you
great,
have Fish as moral support and
Yeah.
JR playing.
who needs that? Who needs
We've
top
basically
leaderboard
got
players?
4 players with ratings between 5K and 6K, and we're
Yeah.
gonna hope for the best.
Yeah, and but our logo is the best logo.
I mean, I feel pretty
you can
good.
take
We're
that
gonna
to the
see-
bank.
I'm excited. I really enjoyed Battleground Series last season for how much I got to interact with my team and communicate. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a certain element to Battleground Series that you can't really get in regular THL series. So I
No.
think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
But and I especially love the fact that this is going to be a recurring thing where every lobby is going to be streamed. There is going to be like, they have a plan for that. I'm very
yeah.
happy that they
one
managed to
out
make
of the
something
3.
work.
Yeah.
Um,
Each.
what?
Yeah. Well, no, 1 out of the 3 lobbies from each day get streamed.
Oh, what? That's what I mean. But what I mean
Yeah.
is like there will be. My point is there will be a lobby that there will be a lobby streamed. Is the point?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and that starts Friday.
Right, that starts Friday, and then of course, now for Saturday we don't have anything right now. Same with Sunday. All that we will say for now is there will be a Sunday showdown for the Battleground Series Lobby B.
Yeah.
That is when I will be competing because unfortunately my Fridays are not very manageable right now.
Yeah.
So
And-
so that'll be fun. But if there's,
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think with the Wild finals matches that leaves 2 matches that are unaccounted for, right?
Yeah, so Corvette versus the Corvette's match won't be played on stream.
Right, we
And
already
and
discussed
then
that with 6J.
yeah, and then so that's Rotted and so
Rotted and Itachi's
Rotted
matches are
and
what we're
Itachi
missing.
will either be no, it's Sunday and Itachi. It'd be Rotted and Hazer.
No. I just mean like those are the 2 players I'm
Oh.
thinking of from like F2L.
Yeah.
I know
Oh
they're
no,
not facing
Itachi.
each
Oh no,
other.
Itachi's on Friday.
Oh, okay.
So the only
Oh no, you're right. So it's I'm thinking of hold on.
it's Neji's
So
match.
Neji, that's who I'm thinking
Yeah,
of, right?
it's Neji versus I believe it's Neji versus Absolute.
Crazy thing is, if you charge Clown College,
No, it's Neji versus Tagger.
if Neji pulls off the win here and keeps his team alive, he still has the potential to win 2 series as well,
Yeah.
assuming F12 Viridian
Yeah,
wins
they
this
have to.
week
He has
against
to
Wild.
win. Yeah, his team has to win out in
It's
bad
a do or die, man.
situations.
Do or die.
Yeah, definitely. So we will, and everyone will know when we know what day we're having the pro series champions on our show.
I think my understanding is the pro matches are going to be the pro series finals matches are going to be figured out once once the finals is determined. That's when they'll start to schedule some matches.
Yeah, and then it'll be finished by Monday. The next round starts in 2 days. Tomorrow is the last day
Right.
for matches. Will be the last day
Friday
for this
through
one.
Friday through the weekend.
Friday
is
to
gonna
Monday
be,
is the finals.
Yeah.
And that'll be hype. So we'll probably the only reason that stuff like Saturday hasn't really been booked is because we don't know who's playing the pro finals yet. So really, we only can schedule up to.
Right.
Yeah, I
guess
that's
we'll
why
see
we
what
can
ends
only
up happening
schedule up
with
until
Neji
Thursday.
and
So
Rodditt's matches.
So all the matches for pro will get scheduled, on Friday and everything. We'll try to get as many of those finals matches streamed as possible. So that'll be when we get like Saturday, Sunday School Stone and Celti Saturday match.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything. Thank you all so much again for watching.
Yes.
Be sure to check us out next week. We will let you know if we're going to be having our final show of the season on Wednesday or Thursday. But yes, next week will be, just a reminder, will be our very last show of the season. We will, of course, be back once the season resumes, but we'll be this will be our last regular show. For those wondering if about the reveals for the other for all of the other series and the new teams, That has yet to be determined as far as who's going to be covering that.
Yep.
We are going to try to have some involvement in that if we can. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll see us when you see us. So
For sure.
thank you all. So thank you again for showing up. I have been J.R. Jucker Law. Thank you again to my co-host, Dr. Fishin, always just in time. We love having an audience from you guys every single week. We hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and have a fantastic weekend. Take care of yourselves.
Take care.
Take care of yourself, JR.
I try.